are the secret advantages of your blood type. Some blood types have insanely unfair advantages over others, and some secretly ruin your life. Number 1, O negative. O negative is the angel blood type. It is probably the most important blood type in existence. It's able to donate to anyone regardless of their blood type, making everyone with this blood type a literal walking miracle. However, it is still highly rare, being held by only 6 to 7% of people in the world. That being said, O negative blood isn't only the hero of other blood types. It also comes with some pretty rad perks for itself, you see. People with type O blood have the lowest risk of cardiovascular disease and even some possible protection from cancers. Type O blood also offers strong protection against the deadliest form of malaria, falsely making it an iron wall for health advantages. When it comes to personality, O-negative individuals are described as bold, energetic, and straightforward. It's also noted that O-negative donors are particularly giving or intense, pretty intense. However, the angel also comes with drawbacks. Being as rare as it is, the universal donor can only receive blood from other O-negative blood types. Not only that, but while O-negative has higher resistances to certain diseases, it has lower resistances to others. Regions have unusually low numbers of O-types. Interestingly, some evidence suggests that the plague might have affected them more, too. Any negative blood type pregnant with a positive one have birthing complications. That's so cool. The smell, wow. Okay, well, there are some slight drawbacks. I'd still say you couldn't choose a better blood type than the angel. But that's more than I can say for the next blood type. Everyone knows about the original 8 blood types. But I need to tell you about a blood type that no one has heard about. The secret 9th type with fewer than 50 known cases worldwide. It is the rarest in existence. It's known as golden blood. That's not a made-up nickname for the video either. That is what it's actually called, you see. We usually define a positive or negative blood type based on whether or not they have the D antigen. But the reality is that our blood cells have a whole slew of other Rh proteins. But not golden blood. Golden blood is 0 Rh proteins. Something all human blood is thought to have needed. Golden blood has none of it, which raises so many questions for researchers, which is why we need to suck them, like take their blood. Not only that, but these guys are even more universal than the angel blood type. Anyone can receive their blood, even people who have extremely rare antibodies or mutations. What's more, in truth, they technically create not just one new blood type, but 4. You can be any typing and still have golden blood. It's exclusively defined by its Rh factor. You could be a golden, B golden, O golden, or Ab golden. It really doesn't matter. And all of those typings have advantages to themselves, which I'll get into. But really they are a fascinating anomaly that shouldn't be alive. They usually have anemia, fragile cells, and a complete lack of blood donors. It's a type that's phenomenal for researchers trying to learn more and could lead to innovations in blood that will change the world forever. But absolutely crap for the carriers. All 50 of these guys have my utmost respect. I mean, in order to have emergency blood, they have to freeze their own blood in advance. That's crazy to me. But guess what? Now you know about a blood type that almost no one on Earth knows exists because you're an Armand the Artist subscriber, right? And guess even more what? Armand the Soothsayer has another prediction for you. You have the blood type O positive, the stone blood type. Far and away the most common blood type, being held by about 1 in 3 people worldwide. It shares all of the immunity advantages of its brother O-negative with one key difference. O-positive doesn't really have to worry about blood scarcity at all. Sure, it can only receive from the O family, but due to there being such overwhelming numbers of O-positive types, emergency blood is easy to come by, if you ask me, health-wise. O-positive is one of the best blood types to be. It's used most in routine blood transfusions and plays an absolutely crucial role in the medical world every single day, as it can donate to any positive blood type, which accounts for most of the population anyway. Personality of O-positive types is stated as being confident, energetic leaders as for trade-offs, and while it's true O-positive is plentiful, they can only receive from O-types, so I'd still be careful if there was a shortage, however unlikely. But other than that, there are no real adverse health risks to having this blood type. So while O-positive isn't flashy, you should be thrilled because in emergencies, common blood is phenomenal to have. It's a respectable one for sure. You should feel special having this blood type, but the next one can literally steal anyone's blood. AB positive or the vampire blood type, AB positive can receive any of the other blood types, making wait times in emergencies extremely short. This fantastic ability is due to the lack of NB antibodies in its plasma, along with possessing both the NB antigens plus the Rh positive factor. Rh positive individuals can receive from either Rh factors, positive or negative, but that's not all. They have a higher ability to produce blood clots. This is way more useful than you'd think. Clots and clots more useful. It allows for carriers to naturally close wounds faster, which means you're less likely to bleed out. However, AB-positive types are slightly more common. Around 3 to 4% of people are carriers, unfortunately. While this power has some of the most massive advantages on the list, its drawbacks make it a little scary to have in your veins. The clot thickens in the wrong areas. Clotting can make blood types more susceptible to heart disease and stroke, which sucks. Pair that with a theorized link to dementia gives you one of the largest coagulations of drawbacks of any of the other types. Though these are theorized and case by case, so take care of yourself. That's all. But hey, if you're ever in a knife fight, you'd massively benefit from having a blood type. AB negative is the rarest of the 8 main blood types, known as the genius blood type. It occurs in less than 1% of the world's population. That's lower chances than flipping a coin and having it hit head 6 consecutive times. AB negative is also able to donate plasma to anyone, making it an extremely rare and valuable resource. It's kind of like the diamond of the original 8. It also has a negative Rh factor, which is theorized to have higher resistances to infections, although that's a little scientifically iffy. People that carry AB negative are known as autistic, strategically gifted, and work excellently in teams. During my research, I even found a Japanese company that hired AB negative blood types almost exclusively for their planning skills. In fact, due to this theory, some people have dubbed it the genius blood type. You know, I got a thing for smarts. You could say you're my type. However, these advantages come with some pretty extreme drawbacks. Studies have found that people with the AB blood type have a higher risk of memory problems and dementia. All of this link requires more research. Blood type A negative, the scale. Literally the most balanced type in the list. About 6.3% of people in the world hold this blood type. Data suggests that the AB blood type was one of the original blood types in ancient primates. These types typically have moderate disease resistance, having the second lowest heart problem risk out of all the types, combining both the clotting ability from AB and the disease resistance from O, but with fewer side effects when it comes to personality. They are often depicted as being organized, conscientious, and patient. They tend to be earnest, creative, and cooperative. As for drawbacks, my favorite part, A negative are shown to have higher risk of stomach cancer, are hit harder by some diseases as birthing issues, a positive or the cornucopia blood type. The second most common type of the 9 held by around 36% of people making donations plentiful, which is an advantage unto itself because when it comes to emergencies, like I said before, replacement blood will be easy to come by. You're rich. It also has the balancing of a negative with some pretty well-developed clotting abilities and disease resistances. Though these are not as powerful as type O, of course, O is my. Personalities for these types are described as being relatively similar to a negative, being creative, earnest, cooperative, organized, conscientious, and patient. However, A positive types are considered to be a little less intense than their brothers A negative, but it shares the same disadvantage as a negative, one difference being pregnancy, as an Rh positive carrier. There shouldn't be any blood-related problems with carrying a baby, unless of course you eat the baby. That would be bad. B negative, the ancient sword blood type. Only about 1.5% of people hold this blood type, though B is more common in parts of Asia and India, making it a super valuable donor in those areas. If you live in America or Europe with this blood type and didn't know your great ancient grandmother was from these areas, she probably wasn't. Maybe you're just some kind of a freak, who knows? It's likely though that you have an ancient connection to the East. The health benefits are largely similar to her, though B appeared slightly later. Some theories suggest B historically had very specific resistances against certain pathogens. Plus, the theorized natural resistances that come with our H-negative factors likely led to a phenomenal blood type they have had in the ancient Eastern world. B-negative personalities are described as being independent, imaginative, and forthright. B-negative also tends to be more introspective than their positive counterparts. Moving on to drawbacks, it has an increased risk of type 2 diabetes and stomach cancer. Blood donors are relatively scarce as they're only able to receive from either B, negative or O-negative blood types. If only there was a positive version with fewer drawbacks, blood type B positive. The ancient shield carried by about 8.5% of people. B-positive types largely enjoy the same advantages as their brothers. B-negative, B-positive types are characterized as outgoing, confident, and passionate about their interests. They are said to be candid and a very do-it-their-way kind of people. They're generally described as playful rebels. However, unlike their brothers being our H-positive, they have a much wider range of blood donors to choose from. B-positive types can receive from B-positive, B-negative, O-positive, and O-negative, effectively doubling the amount of blood available to them compared to their brothers. Except similarly to their brothers, they also have a higher risk of diabetes and stomach cancer. But hey, I think we can all agree when it comes to blood, it's best to be positive.